Hello and welcome to the channel. In this video, I'm going to use something called the bar method to tackle a question in a functional skills level 2 maths exam. And this is a method that is useful for a number of questions in a functional skills maths exam. Let me show you. Here we have this question. Adam works for an agency. His normal hourly rate is £8.32 per hour. So that's his normal hourly rate. The agency asks Adam to work 6 hours for a new company. Adam will be paid time and a third of his normal hourly rate. So here we have this question, and what I would advise in questions like this is if you see a fraction mentioned, like here we have the mention of a third when it says time and a third, you should consider using the bar method. And as soon as you see a fraction like that where it says third, you need to ask yourself, how many parts are in the whole? And in this case, how many thirds are there in a whole? And the answer to that is 3. There are 3 thirds in a whole, and we're going to split our bar into 3 equal parts. Another thing to ask yourself is, well, what is the whole in this question? And it is £8.32. That's his whole normal hourly rate of pay. But whenever he goes to this new company, they're going to pay him time and a third. So they're actually going to pay him a third on top for every hour. So that's actually going to be another equal part on the end, so that he's going to be paid 4 thirds for every hour he works at the new company. Now, another useful question to ask yourself in questions like this is, can we find one part? And here, looking at the diagram, we have £8.32, which represents 3 parts. So how can we find one part? And hopefully you can see here that by dividing £8.32 by 3, we're going to be able to work out what one part equals. So let's just punch that in the calculator. This is section B of the test, so we're allowed to use a calculator here. So £8.32 divided by 3, and we get £2.77, and then a lot of 3's after that. So let's just call that £2.77, but we're going to leave that number in the calculator and come back to it in a minute. So in this diagram, let's just put in £2.77. We'll draw it in there for each part, and in this bar diagram, all of the parts are equal, so all 4 of the parts are going to be £2.77. So now we know the value of each part, we can work out the time and a third, the hourly rate that Adam gets at the new company, which is going to be 4 parts. So it's going to be 3 thirds and then another third. So to do this, all we got to do is do £2.77 times 4. So what we want to do is just go back to the calculator and use the number that we left in there and hit times by 4, and that will give us the new hourly rate of Adam, so which turns out to be £11 and 9 pence, and then a lot of 3's after that. Again, we just need to leave that in the calculator. Let's call that £11 and 9 pence. So that's his new hourly rate at this new company, the time and a third. That's how much he gets paid for every hour that he works. But also the question tells us, it's asking us, what's his total pay for working at the new company? And he worked there for 6 hours, he tells us. So if this is how much he gets paid per hour, and he worked for 6 hours, all we got to do is do the £11 and 9p times 6. So we go back to our calculator, and we're going to use the number that is in the calculator, and all we got to do is hit times by 6, and then that will give us the total that he gets after working the 6 hours, which is going to turn out to be £66 and 56p. And here, happily, we don't have a string of digits after that. This has worked out nicely, and indeed, this is the answer to the question. So let's just make a note of that, £66 and 56p, and that is the answer to the question. So what do you think? Do you think this bar method might be helpful to you? I think so. People that I've worked with have found it helpful in trying to pass this level 2 functional skills test. So I'll make this a part of a series of videos where I'll look at some other past paper questions and use the method to get the marks in those. And you'll see that in each test, there's actually multiple questions where you can use this. Thank you for watching this video. If you want any help with tuition, do check out my website. The link is in the description of this YouTube video. And if you're trying to pass level 2 functional skills maths, you've got this. You can do it. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.